NABN, New Africa Broadcasting Network.
Hello there. To our friends around the world, it's another very interesting week on Let's Talk About It, a program that brings you more information, education, happenings all around the world. Nigerians in the diaspora are the most industrious and educated group in the world in all areas of life, be it in education, business, technology, medicine, music, law, entertainment, and sports. Nigerians can compete with anyone, anytime, any day, anywhere in the world. Recently, the FBI arrested about 80 Nigerians in a wire bank fraud, money laundering, etc. and sector. This will form the focus of our discussion today in the studios. I have with me honorable guests, Sir Chukwudi Diko, US-based businessman, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and community advocate. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
I also have our very, very distinguished guests, the Honorable Ben Okoyen, who is the Nigerian Consul General based in New York. He's been a guest on our show, and we will be having this conversation about what is happening to Nigerians around the world, particularly the FBI focus. Gentlemen, you were able to access what's been happening, or you've seen or heard about the occurrences all around and the way Nigerians are being portrayed. I'd like to know what your take is on these events. Honorable Chukwudi.
Well, first, let me say thank you for having me on the show. I'm really happy to be here. Hello, viewers. This is a very important issue that should concern all Nigerians, both in Nigeria and here in the American diaspora. Let me start off by saying this. I unequivocally condemn the nefarious activities of these individuals. But having said that, it is important to make the point that the Nigerians here in the American diaspora are doing fabulous work, just like you said, in every field of human endeavor, from technology to medicine to healthcare, finance, all over. We are leaders, all right? Studies after studies, Stanford, Duke, Harvard have shown that among all the subgroups in America, Nigerians have the highest rate of graduation for high school, highest rate of college enrollment, and master's degree, postgraduate studies. And we're doing quite a bit in all fields and, contributing our share, our quota to the American project. Now, unfortunately, the narrative from, the media is not, in our favor. And that's why I'm here today, partly to issue a challenge to the Americans, the Nigerians here in America, that it is time for us to change the narrative. We have to start telling our own story, because up to now, we've allowed other people to tell our story, and it's not coming out in our favor. We have to take the bull by the horn and start telling our own stories. I take myself, for instance. I migrated to the United States of America some 30 years ago. And I have my family here, 3 kids. I started 2 businesses here. I'm in the area of finance. I know what I contributed here over these 30 years. And I have friends and associates who I know are contributing quite immensely. But it's always that 1% or less than 1% who tarnish the image of Nigerians overseas. And we have to change that. We have to turn that around. I hopefully will have an opportunity to say a little bit more as we go on.
Certainly, certainly. Honorable Sir.
Thank you very much for having me in your station. And thank you once again for the good work you are doing.
Thank you.
To the issue that you have raised, I cannot agree less from what has been presented by Diko. What happened is not a reflection of Nigerians. Nigeria is a country that we should be proud of, particularly if you are a true Nigerian. It's very unfortunate for whatever that has happened, but I can tell you from my experience relating with Nigerians in diaspora, we have far more to celebrate concerning our country than what others say about us, particularly in different fields that is being mentioned everywhere. There's no field that you cannot see Nigerians doing well. In fact, when I was trying to come to this program, try to look at review on some of my interaction with Nigerian, I see a long list of community of Nigerian professionals doing big things in this country, and the Americans can attest to this. And whoever that is committing any crime is an issue that the world need to handle. It's not a Nigerian issue, and that's the point I want to bring out for everyone to see. Crime is a challenge in the world, and it's not a Nigerian issue. And Nigeria is very willing and ready at all times, doing its best to deal with anything that has to do with crime in the world.
Now, Chief Diko, some Nigerians are feeling quite vulnerable, especially at this period, of all this news, cast. Our Consul General did mention about some of the positive things that he's hearing about Nigerians, because he's visited, communities, around not just the tri-state area,
Absolutely.
but beyond. I personally have accompanied, Consul General, and I know the kind of work that is doing. But why the focus, why the preoccupation on Nigeria as a group? That's something that I'm struggling to have a good handling or understanding, about.
Well, I own two companies here in America, in Fairfield, Connecticut, Dico and Associates and Dico Financial Group, which I started over 25 years ago and still actively manage. And the direct impact of this is felt directly by me. And I'll give you a case in point. I met a client not too long ago after this story broke out, and he came into my office, and we exchanged pleasantries, and started talking. And he looked, because I'm proudly Nigeria, I displayed the Nigerian flag in my office, and he looked up and he saw the Nigerian flag, and he said, "Are you Nigerian?" Proudly, I said, "Yes." And I saw his face changed, and I said, "Is there a problem?" He said, "Well." And he started stuttering, and I immediately picked up on that. I said, "Listen, if you're not comfortable to do business with me, I can understand it. But please don't throw a blanket over all Nigerians, because not every Nigerian is shady, all right? We have a reputation. It's your choice what you want to do." That's a case in point. It's a case in point. That's direct impact. I can tell you personally, how many business opportunities that have gone cold upon realizing that, the Nigerian link with some of our prospective business partners. And if I'm experiencing it, I can bet you other Nigerian businesses are experiencing the same thing.
I have, a lot of friends in the medical field. I have friends in education. There is hardly any school in this country where you wouldn't find in Nigeria at the top of their game.
Absolutely.
In terms of education.
Absolutely.
And some of the best, doctors in any of the hospitals, including nurses. We have a nurses association that's NABNTV. They'll participate in the coverage of their events from time to time, and you'll find from time to time you will always find Nigerian nurses, taking care of the people. We're not hearing too much about the accomplishments of these men, and women. It's sadly, but this is what we're hearing. What's occurring, the crime, which is very. I'm not minimizing crime by any means, but it's very, very insignificant compared to all of the other crimes that we barely hear about, but we know of.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure why this is happening. Honorable Okoyen, I don't know, if you want to chime in here.
Well, probably because the negative story sells a lot for the media. I can say that someone who is doing what is right may not want to advertise himself. So for him, it is not something that he has to tell the world that he's doing something good. So he's just doing something normal. So it is not surprising for me if Nigerians are doing well and people are not aware of it. They don't need to advertise it. So in my experience, it's only when we go out, we look for them, we see them. They don't come telling you, "I am here," when they are doing the right thing. So, but those who are also into crime cannot be hidden, because the government and the system don't condone those kind of things, so they'll be exposed. So that's part of the issue too. So, but the most important thing is that everybody needs to do what is right, and a lot of Nigerians are doing what is right, and they are very good at what they do, and that's why I'm a proud Nigerian. Can always, at all time, tell everyone that Nigeria is the place to go, and that's where my interest lies.
Let me just disagree a little bit with the Consul General here about what we need to do. It's not okay that the good people are not blowing their trumpet. That is exactly what we need to be doing at this point. Perhaps that's part of the problem. What I would suggest is working in collaboration with the consulate and our mission here. We can get organized. If it's on the platform of American Nigerian Chamber or Cultural Association or Economic, get organized, put a front out there. Listen, we are presently in the information age. How you control information determines the perception of yourself. All right? So we can put this together and then use that as a platform to tell our own story, to rewrite the narrative and let people know what Nigeria is really about. Right now, we don't have anything of that sort, at least on a national level, that is coordinated. You might have little pockets here and there of organizations, but they're not coordinated. Everybody's doing their own thing. Now, if we come together and have a solid platform that is well organized and probably well financed, and we can use that to project our image. Case in point, the Jewish community, they have something similar to what I described, and they use it powerfully, not just in telling their own narratives, but in effecting and affecting decision-making, legislation, and drawing economic favors to their interest. It's about time we put together something like that to start telling our own story. I can't tell you enough. I don't know of any industry in America today where you go and you don't find Nigerians at the very top of the leadership. Absolutely.
Do you now see a pattern of possibly inequity in the way they address the situation? The authorities I'm talking about.
Well, can I
go
say
please,
something?
sir.
Well, let me correct an impression also. I'm not totally saying that Nigerians doing what is right and what is good shouldn't blow their trumpets. I'm saying you are not hearing it because some people don't feel it that way and they don't need to do so. And that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And again, to put the point clear, is it is important for Nigerians to come together. They are a community outside Nigeria, and they need to know their brothers, their sisters, and promote their culture. And that's what we encourage. And we've been relating with a lot of Nigerians in that way. And a lot of organizations are doing the things you're talking about. And NIDO is there. There are different other cultural groups and all of that. So I have attended a lot of them, and they are doing so many wonderful things. They are giving back. They're going for medical missions and all of that. Some people don't hear all of those things that are happening, but I have privileged information about a lot of those things going on. We are also partnering with a lot of them on this. Only yesterday, somebody came to my office, a professor in one of these universities. He's a Nigerian, highly placed. He's thinking about how he can open a campus in Nigeria, and he was telling me about all the good stories about what Nigerians are doing, even within the college, that he is in a top position. So it is important for us to link up together.
Yes.
Nigerians in diaspora need to link up, work together, so that if they value and trust themselves, others will trust them. That's another point that we need to make here.
Last night I happened to be at a meeting of the Nigerian American Political Action Committee, to which I'm the vice chair, and some of the discussions we had, it's just a replica of what we're talking about here, and they also raising questions about okay, what is it that our consulate is doing in response to to what's happening, to the image that's been projected out there. And I said, look, I've had a long-standing relationship with the consulate, of Nigeria here, and especially the one in New York.
Yes.
And then I can attest to the fact that, from time to time, they've had similar conversations. And I said, I'm going to have the Consul General as a guest, with me, here. And if possible, have him tell you what, they're doing. They can't say everything, but I'll let him speak for himself, what you're doing, and so the people would know.
Very good.
Well, thanks so much. That's part of the things we do here, community relations. So Nigeria is our mission and our mandate as a consulate. We are here representing our country and take care of the interests of Nigerians. And many don't, they are not aware of what we do. For example, Nigerians who have issues, with the authorities, and if they are unjustly treated, we have a right to have access to whatever is happening to them, whether they are in prisons or whether they are in correction centers, whatever it is, provide legal services and advise them, link them to their families, and ensure that they are not treated unjustly. That is our duty. We are not doing anyone a favor, and that is a mandate we have. Nigerians need to know. Nigeria needs to contact the consulate and any mission in Nigeria outside our shores of our country. To get services done, they have a right to ask questions about what is going on back home in government. We can give them information. We handle their passports. Currently now we're thinking about enrolling a 10-year validity passport in Nigeria. That service has already been launched in Abuja. Very soon it will get to the diaspora in America. Before the end of this year, that will happen. And so they need to know what they need to do before they can get that 10-year validity passport. One of the key criterion is for them to register themselves and have national identity card number, because it's part of the criterion. That service is being rendered in the consulate and through some of these agencies that the government has instructed to undertake. You have TBEX, you have OIS, so you need to register. So by the time you now come to the consulate and you hear there is a enrollment for 10 years validity passport, and if you have not been registered with your provide your national identity number, you may not be registered. So it is important. And many other things we do. We do trade and investment, and we look after for Nigerian businesses and tell them the opportunities that are bound in Nigeria. So a lot is happening. We need Nigerians to invest back home. We need the foreigners to come back and invest in Nigeria. But a lot need to take advantage of the opportunities back home, particularly the Nigerian community. Most of them are qualified. They have what it takes to move our country forward. So that's what we encourage.
I'm hoping that you're utilizing all the avenues that's available, including NABNTV. By the way, we community and global station as well, to get some of these things out, to let people know when, to register, what programs are out there, what they can access, and so on and so forth. So I know we've had this conversation before. I'm looking forward to a situation where you will actually, have NABNTV be at the forefront of pushing this agenda. That's what we do, and that's what we do well. I'm going to, sorry. You wanted to,
let me personally commend the Consul General for the job that he's doing. I just met him about a couple of weeks ago. In the past years, I've interacted with so many Consul Generals, but I have to say he's different. I actually met him at a boxing match that featured a prominent up-and-coming Nigerian fighter, and I wasn't expecting, as usual, to see a Nigerian contingent, but I was pleasantly surprised when I got there, and I saw not just a contingent, but led by the Consul General himself. And that's the kind of proactive action that we need. So with him in this position, I am sure that there's so much we can do together to begin to turn this narrative around. But quickly, let me give you another dimension to this problem, with mischaracterization of Nigeria. too often everybody talks about Nigeria as a giant of Africa. And in truth be said, there is no single country anywhere in the world right now with more opportunities than Nigeria for investment.
Yeah.
You talk about the population, you talk about abundant human resources, you talk about proximity to the other markets in Africa, and then you turn around and you see the investors from America and Europe going the other way. They're going to Ghana, they're going to Kenya, they're going to Rwanda, and you ask yourself, why are we not attracting those investment opportunities? It comes back to this problem, the problem of perception.
Perception.
You know, so our government needs to step up a little bit. They need to put, you know, like we say in America, put your money where your mouth is. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to take proactive actions, put some dollars behind it. If it means taking out advertorials in with, you know, newspapers, some of the national brands, on television, on CNN, we have to start, you know, putting.
Don't you forget NABNTV.
Yeah,
I just want to throw that in.
NBTV. You, by the way, you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And you know, let's use these platforms to change the narrative. You know, so that we can start, you know, telling the great things, the great story. There's so much great story to tell about Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Instead of allowing this negative, sensational news by a very small fraction to dominate our narrative and mischaracterize our profile. You know, so this affects us not just here in the diaspora. It affects us on a macro level in Nigeria. Like I said, based on our ability to draw, you know, investments, you know, and the way people relate to Nigerians. So it's a situation that calls for concerted effort, both from our government, the Nigerian community here, and the agencies that are working on our behalf. And together we can organize ourselves and begin to do some of those things to change the tide. And I believe we can do it.
Okay. You're watching NABNTV. We'll be right back. Honorable Okoyen, I'll give you the last word.
Yes, Diko, I have to thank you so much for the kind words of the little we are doing in the consulate. This is what we look up to Nigerians doing, taking up their rightful place anywhere they are. And we were in Connecticut because our own was fighting, and we need to support her all through, you know, the way. And that's what we are doing, not just Ellen, who is making us proud at the moment as a female boxer, but there are so many others. The Nigerian football national team was here. We follow them all through and all of that, and so many other things are happening. And that's exactly the image we portray in United States of America. And we expect many of you to do the same, like you are doing. You know, you make us proud also. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, you know, having you in our studios. A very good, engaging, you know, debate, discussion about what's happening, you know, around. This is what NABNTV does. I look forward to having you back, you know, anytime you're invited to our studios to have further discussions regarding Nigeria, regarding Africa, regarding the United States, you know, any subject matter to which you have an open invitation. Thanks again, you know, for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Depending on who you talk to in South Africa, you will receive a variety of information and misinformation about what is going on and why the revolts from South Africans and continued hostility towards people of other African descent, particularly Nigerians. I gathered the following. There are professional Nigerians, especially in education, information, technology, and health sector of South Africa, doing great and raising responsible children like what obtains in Nigerian communities here in the United States. There are some individuals who are into drugs, heroin, cocaine, and other illicit drugs, making it seem like legitimate businesses all around the nations of Africa. There are some of our citizens who are into internet fraud, visa racketeering, and prostitution ring like we have currently going on in Libya and Italy. Nigerian embassies in these countries need to do more than just look into it. Diaspora voting has been stalled for many years. We need to ask why, ladies and gentlemen. We need to know why, and we need to demand immediate change. The diasporans see things differently on how a good country should operate. We need to collaborate now more than ever with the folks back home. We need to justify our remittances by letting our voices be heard. We can change things in the political realm by holding our leaders accountable. Let us create awareness for our people not to sell their votes anymore. The politicians are hell-bent not to let go of the jugular of the national treasury. Our youths would rather go elsewhere than their homeland. Why? Because you fail to provide these young men and women with the necessities that they need. We are gradually turning these creative geniuses into fraudsters and killers. Our young ladies do not need to prostitute all around Europe and Asia or the Middle East just to make ends meet. Let us begin to harness our intellectual resources around the world and make Nigeria and Africa a hub for arts, science, and technology. Nigerians have proven time and time again that we can make the impossible possible. My name is Anthony Afalo from NABNTV. Thanks for watching.
NABNTV, inspiring a new generation.